Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 125th episode of the Triboro Podcast. I am your host, Justin Alonso, joined by Nicholas O'Brien. We got a quick little GM recap.
Early off-season notes, rumors,
That's
type of thing.
nothing.
It's the middle of November.
Yeah.
We're grasping for straws.
We're
all right?
gonna look at kind of like our awards and how we did
Yes.
on that. That obviously just happened. Spoiler alert: I did not win. But yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. There's some things going on. We got our first free agent signing, Josh Naylor back to the Mariners. That's fun.
And our second.
Yes, and Ryan Yarbrough coming back to the Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you got the qualifying offer. What's the word?
Drama.
Qualifying offer
Deadline.
Thank you, and the Rule 5 deadline as well. So
So
we'll talk
really
about
quickly,
that.
it's 3:35. The deadline is in 25 minutes as of when we're recording. So our plan is to do our kind of overall section, then the Mets, then the Yankees, because the Mets, you know what's happening with the qualifying offers. The Yankees, we have no idea what's happening with Trent Grisham. It looks like he's not going to accept it, but who knows? And not a single person.
Doesn't know.
What'd you say?
Even Trent doesn't know what he's doing.
There's
yet.
Has anyone come out and said what they
Nobody.
were doing? No one.
As of right now, as we sit here in the middle of recording, no one has accepted
It's what,
or
13
declined.
players that
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. But ridiculous. But yeah, so might as well start off with the GM's meeting that happened. Like Cashman wasn't there. Didn't seem like a big deal.
I saw like I forgot if either he got sick or his plane got delayed / canceled or something. So that was the whole thing. But when it comes to the GM meetings, it's just like the first preliminary kind of like, hey, this is what each team is doing. This is what we're thinking. Scott Boras does his weird lexicon thing, but
Scott Boras becomes the Riddler.
Exactly. It's just like it's basically the ribbon cutting for the off season in my mind. That's kind of how I see it.
I think for the Yankees, like especially with Cashman being a GM for so long, he probably knows these guys, has so much already of a relationship and foundation that like he can afford to miss it. And he still did attend virtually. I don't know how that would work, but he said he was doing virtual stuff, so who even knows? Yeah, there was a lot of overall rumors when it came, especially like that Jeff Passan article when it came to a lot of things. The Dodgers and Kyle Tucker, I think, is kind of like the big thing where the more and more I thought about it, I'm like, man, he's really going to become a Dodger. But then Jeff Passan said the Dodgers are a lot more likely to go for a higher amount of money or a higher AAV, shorter term deal. Obviously, Kyle Tucker, he's not going to sacrifice the years when he's going to make that much money. He's not going to care about the AAV, really, given he's going to get 9, 10, 11 years. So yeah, I think that was one of the biggest news, one of the biggest like tidbits of news. But
I would say that, and I believe EMI is getting posted tomorrow morning.
I want to say at 8 a.m.
Yeah, something like that. So he will have to sign by January 5th, I believe, January 2nd. Yeah, I think it was January 2nd by 5 p.m. was the deadline.
Yes, January 2nd, 5 p.m.
And then I think Murakami is not too far behind him, so he'll probably get posted sometime this week as well, which will give them very similar deadlines.
I thought Murakami was already or was that
I think
Murakami was posted November 7th.
Then it was Akamoto.
That's what I thought.
My bad.
Murakami's window closes December 22nd.
Yeah, so he's got like a little more than 4 weeks. So that's gonna be interesting.
No. And we haven't really heard much.
No, yeah, we've heard nothing. But now that the GM meetings are over and I think everyone's kind of prepping for the winter meetings, I'm sure we're gonna get more and more as we roll on here.
Is it Ima or
Imai.
Imai? I will say I was kind of sleeping on him because I didn't really know much about him. But then the more and more you dig on it, where the weird release point, the kind of makeup of the person, and all that, like the more and more I'm like, man, I'm a lot more excited about him,
Yeah.
especially because the Yankees have been linked with him more than I really expected them to be.
Right.
So very interesting. What's gonna
Yeah,
happen with
for
him?
sure. Yeah, definitely. But I think that's about it. So you want to just get into the awards, unless you had anything else?
Trying to think. We didn't really have that many other. Josh Naylor, what was it? 592 and a half. That's what it
Yeah,
was. Yeah,
5
just
years
to
and a
give the
half.
number out there.
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked he got 5 years, not because like the age makes sense, but just Josh Naylor.
Yeah, no, I think he definitely got a little more than what I expected, but
Yeah,
hey, good for him. Good for Seattle as well.
may not be
Biggest
good
free
for
agent
the Mets,
signing.
but
Yeah, but biggest free agent signing since Robinson Cano for the Mariners.
that's kind of crazy when you think about it. But I will give them a little bit of credit. They did trade for Luis Castillo and extend him, so that's technically not a free agent signing, but it's still like big
Yeah.
acquisition. But anyways, going into the awards, before we go into anything, I am going to talk about Aaron Judge winning the MVP because I just want to talk.
Ooh.
No, because this is pissing me off so much. Just seeing Mariners fans on Twitter because when the awards come out, pretty much how it is for people that don't know, every city in a league gets 2 votes. And there's 2 different people. Some may be beat writers, some may be national. It's kind of random. I don't know the way they officially designate who, but each essentially team gets 2 votes that they could do. So the Yankees had 2 guys, the Mariners had 2 guys, Red Sox had 2 guys, Rangers, Astros all had 2 guys, yada yada yada. The reason I mentioned those teams is because the Astros and Rangers, all 4 of their voters voted for Aaron Judge, and Mariners fans were like, "Oh, look at it's the bias. They don't want their guy to win, or the division rival." Da, da, da. Oh yeah, the AL West as a division was split 5-5 for the MVP. The AL East as a division was split 5-5 because what was it again? The Orioles were 2 for Raleigh. Boston and Toronto were split. The Yankees were also split because they had like a national reporter as one of their guys, like someone for the Athletic, kind of weird, but whatever. The Rays went both Judge. The Angels and Mariners went 4 for Raleigh, and then the Athletics split. It's such a tiresome, like this happens every year where it's like, yeah, like your division's probably may root for the other guy. Like I don't know. And even then, like you look at Chandler Rome because he's kind of a guy that's getting picked on a lot. He literally said like, no, I literally talked to a lot of players, went into the numbers and see what they thought.
Right.
And sorry, I had to get that off my chest because it is so annoying that now it's a thing of people are saying Aaron Judge didn't deserve the MVP because of that, which is ridiculous.
That's stupid. Yeah.
So, and I've said this before. I think if there ever was a year for co MVPs, it should have been this year, and
Yeah.
we almost got that. It was very
It was
close.
close. It was very close.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, just one of the most tiresome arguments ever. But
It's over.
it's over.
It's
Finally.
over.
What's your take on that whole blah, 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 blah?
About the voting or the MVP as a whole?
Both. Take whichever way you want.
The voting thing is stupid. That's really it. That I don't really have much else to say about that. But personally, and this, I have to kind of be some sort of consistent because, obviously wanted Lindor to win last year. And even though Otani was the better player, I felt Lindor was, more valuable to the team. I probably would have voted for Riley.
Mm-hmm.
And it has nothing to do that, Judge didn't deserve it or Judge this, Judge that. Judge absolutely deserved the MVP. The reason I would have voted for Cal is more of it's first of all, it's positional. Look, I truly believe we don't value catchers to the extent that's possible. I just think there's a lot that we can't completely quantify. The 60 home runs, he caught a ton of games. He didn't catch all the games. He DH'd a good bit. We'll put that out there. But he played the entire season. He hit a shit ton of home runs. You haven't seen a lot of that. And the MVP, as much as it is a stat award, is also a narrative award. And narratively speaking, I do think Cal edges out Judge when you look at it like that. And again, I just think at the end of the day, yes, WAR is exactly a value stat, but I just felt like being a catcher, a good defensive catcher, and doing what he did offensively brings maybe even a slight bit more value than what Judge does year in, year out.
Which is a very fair argument. This is one of those things of that is an actual fair argument. People saying that, oh, Aaron Judge plays in a small ballpark, even though Kyle Rowley would have had less home runs at Yankee Stadium and Aaron Judge would have had more home runs at T-Mobile Park. But who's going to talk about that? But my thing is, one, I don't think we really know what the qualifications for the MVP award is.
It's the best player award.
No, but I'm saying like there's no defined answer. But based off how voters have, it's the best player. And I think that that's kind of where some of the disconnect. I'm not saying that you disconnect or anything like that, but it's just between fans and the voting where it's like, yeah, it may be called the MVP, most valuable player award, but you look at the last 10, 20, 30 years and it's the best player award.
Yeah. And so whether you agree with that or not is completely on you. And you look over on the National League, as long as Ohtani pitches, he's winning every year.
Yeah.
And again, I have an issue with that. I think there is a bit of not necessarily that
Ohtani could throw 100 innings at a 4 ERA and hit 30 home runs and he'd win the MVP.
Right. And it's tough because you obviously want Ohtani to get recognized for what he's doing, and we're never going to see this again.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, it's, I hate calling it unfair because that just seems like I'm, like whiny.
Yeah.
But it's just, I'm not sure how you can ever see someone else winning MVP as long as Ohtani's still playing.
Yeah. Well, I think he was just scared.
That's what makes him so special.
That's the reason he went to the NL. He was scared of Aaron Judge.
For sure.
Had to win his MVPs. But yeah, that was the voting. We both picked Aaron Judge. A little bit of news because I'm spam refreshing Twitter. Brandon Woodruff accepted a qualifying offer with the Milwaukee Brewers. So hopefully it's going to start actually rolling in now. Yeah, but we both had Aaron Judge, the MVP. Both won that one. Then for the NL MVP, I had Kyle Tucker and you had Tatis, right?
Yes, I had Fernando Tatis.
Yeah. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani won. And yeah, just not much to say on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised Tatis finished as high as he did. I think he finished like top.
I want to say sixth.
Sixth, yes, that sounds right.
I can look that up now.
And just as a reminder, when it comes to the NL MVP, we did pick any non-Ohtani.
He was eighth, by the way.
He was eighth. Okay.
He had the best votes he got were 2 fourth place votes.
Yeah, but we did pick who would be our non-Ohtani picks because, like I just said, as long as Ohtani keeps doing what he's doing, there's really no other shot for anybody else. So, for argument's sake, Schwarber finished second, I think, right?
Yeah.
But technically, he's finished seventh in the way we're looking at it.
Well, my backup was Juan Soto, and in the way we're looking at it, Juan Soto finished second.
He shouldn't have. I don't understand how he did.
Perdomo, you can make a strong argument. You can make an argument he should have finished second.
Yeah, for sure. But
anyways,
regardless.
Yeah, that was just, like you said, if Ohtani throws 100 innings and has 450 at-bats, he's winning the MVP.
Yeah,
and that's just what it's going to come down to. Then for Cy Young, we both kind of kicked ourselves with our backup picks because both our backup picks would have been significantly better than our actual picks. I had Cole Reagans and Max Fried as my backup. And who was I know your backup was Tariq Skubal. Who was your?
Yeah, I picked Logan Gilbert to win, and he then missed like a month with an elbow issue.
Yeah.
So he still made 25 starts. I wrote down the stats. Gilbert still did 25 starts, 130 innings, a 3.44 ERA. But my injury luck was there yet again.
I feel like that's what happened with me and Tucker. How Tucker was so
Yeah.
hot, and then like this injury, then nagging,
Right.
nagging. But
Yeah, he just fell
that's
off.
part of this too. That
Mhm.
injuries are gonna happen. Gotta try to account for it without accounting for it in a weird way.
Yeah, I mean, guys are healthy until they're not.
Yeah. And then going into the NL Cy Young, I picked Paul Skeens, and then you picked.
I picked Zach Wheeler, who again had his season ended early because of surgery, so he only made 24 starts.
He got a vote though.
He
He
did get
did
a vote.
get a vote.
He got 1 point. So Wheeler went, 24 starts, 150 innings, a 2.7 ERA. He still put up a 4 WAR. So if he had a full season, he probably would have finished at least top 5, at the very least.
Yeah, and Paul Skeens just had a year.
Paul Skeens, yeah. Paul
I
Skeens was just Paul Skeens.
do think though he needs to thank Jacob deGrom a little bit because he did go 10-10, and 10 years ago that would not have flown.
No,
even though he had a
not.
sub-2 ERA in 187 innings.
Yeah.
And again, this is not me saying that he should not have won. He 100,000% should have won. But 10 years ago, may not win.
Oh, no way in hell. He probably finishes like third or something.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at Baseball Reference, so I'm not going to like the deep analytics. But like, dude, he had a 9.48 WHIP, 2.17 ERA plus.
Again, insane. We're probably, I think I said it like 2 years ago or a year ago, that we haven't really had, like the mid to late 2010s where we had DeGrom, Scherzer, Verlander, Cole, like every year in, year out. Kershaw. Even you want to throw Jake Arrieta in there, Greinke, like.
But that's the point
really
that we're listing off name and name and name and name and name.
Right. I think we're starting to get there.
Yeah.
Now we have Skeens. Now we have Scooble. Christopher Sanchez is making a name for himself.
If
Max
Crochet
Fried
can continue this.
Right, Crochet.
Care Slittler.
Sure. But I think we're starting a new era of consistent year in, year out Cy Young contenders, which I think is pretty fun.
And that's not even talking about Yamamoto.
Right. He definitely is on that list as well.
He's not on the level of those guys, but if you were talking consistently, because I'm just looking at it, Logan Webb's always going to finish top 10 in the Cy Young.
True.
He's always going to do it. And just because I'm just looking at the leaderboards now that I have now. Do you know Aroldis Chapman finished 7th Cy Young?
Really?
Yeah. I did not know Rodon finished 6th. Interesting. But that was the NL MVP. And then Cy Young, yes, sorry. Then going on to Rookie of the Year.
Talk about botched. Holy shit.
God. I will also say, Nick Kurtz was not on any of our no one's radar. So even like you look at the top, let's say the top 5, let's make it top 6. Did you think that Nick Kurtz would be top 10?
No. I didn't even think he was going to make the majors.
Do you think Jacob Wilson was?
No.
Roman Anthony, I think
Roman Anthony was my backup pick. So
that's a fair one. That's definitely Noah Cameron.
Yeah.
Colson Montgomery.
Nope.
Now you ready for the craziest one? Do you know who finished 6th?
Finished 6th.
Carlos Narvaez.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Will Warren finished 8th. Solid. But
Dominguez got 1 point.
He did. Dominguez got 1 point.
Which I think he was your pick as well, right?
We both went Dominguez. Yeah,
we both went Dominguez, which was in hindsight, oof.
Yeah, it was
rough pick.
Part of it was his fault. Part of it wasn't. It kind of goes both ways, where he didn't play that well, then lost playing time. But if he also would have played better, then he wouldn't have lost playing time. So, call it for what it is. Bust both ways. Then for Rookie of the Year, we both botched this one for different reasons. But
different reasons.
We both definitely botched this one. I went Dylan Cruz.
Yeah.
He did not play. He did not have the year that a lot of people were expecting. He got hurt, right?
Yeah, he playing poorly. Then he got hurt. Then he played good for like a week, and then it wasn't his year.
Where is 631 OPS on the year in about 320 plate appearances.
Yeah.
So not a good year from him. whatsoever. And then
on the other side, for me, my dumbass picked James Wood because I thought he still had rookie eligibility. So last second, I changed to Roki Sasaki, and we know how Sasaki had his year. He pitched poorly, and then he got sent down. Then he got hurt. Then he got sent down to the minors, and then he basically became the closer in the playoffs.
2 bits of news: Iminaga accepting the qualifying offer. Gleyber Torres accepting the qualifying offer.
Really, I'm shocked. I'm kind of shocked Gleyber accepted it, but okay.
I think it kind of makes sense in a way where he probably wouldn't have got the market that, because his market was a lot worse than we thought it was last year, and that was still coming off of a solid year, great postseason. So I kind of get it, because how much better would his market really have been with a? Because last year he didn't have qualifying offer attached. This year he does.
He probably at best would have done like a
345.
Yeah, 45, 50.
That's
so you'll take the 22 for the year.
And also a place that you played well, good team.
Right. I'm sure he liked it there.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have extended the qualifying offer if they didn't mind him coming back. Yada yada yada.
The shorter one, I didn't even know he had that.
Yeah, because technically, he opted.
Yeah, he opted out, but then
he opted out. Yeah.
So weird.
At the end of the day, he was a free agent, so boom.
Then became a Chicago Cub again. Then, so we got Rookie of the Years. Then on to Manager of the Year.
I still like my pick.
I went with the man that is not in baseball anymore, and Bruce Bochy.
Oh shit! I forgot you picked Bochy. Yeah, I picked.
I mean, if that offense could literally just have been league average.
Yeah,
that was a solid pick.
Rough year for the Rangers.
I didn't expect that offense to be this. I don't think anyone expected them to be one of the worst in the league.
Yeah,
but
I mean, yeah.
Damn it! Trent Grisham is accepting the qualifying offer.
Ooh,
not a fan, but go on.
Yikes! That was the worry, but we'll talk about that more in a moment. But yeah. Jock Peterson was really bad, and then he got hurt, and he wasn't really much better. Marcus Semien, Father Time, White Rabbit. Nathaniel Lowe was kind of a bust of a trade. It was a rough year all around for the Rangers.
Yeah.
But I picked AJ Hinch for the Tigers. Tigers obviously still had a really good year besides blowing the division at the last second.
He probably wins if that doesn't happen.
Probably. I would think so. But
because Frank Won won, right?
No, Stephen Vogt won.
That's what I meant. I was thinking Cleveland. That's why in my head for not the Reds, Cleveland. Yet, honestly, if they don't blow that division, he probably wins it. You know what I mean?
I'm shocked. John Schneider didn't win. I'm floored.
I'm pretty sure, and I know what you're gonna say too. I'm pretty sure it's like, I know all awards for players are done before the postseason. I have said this multiple times. I think the Manager of the Year should be done after the World Series, but because I think that's the only one where you can say that can make a serious difference. You know what I mean? That one, if it happened after the World Series, I think Schneider runs away with it. But go on.
I think he should have ran away with it before the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think he completely deserved it just by the regular season alone. No one thought the Blue Jays were making the playoffs, let alone winning the division.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes, the Yankees were on their heels in the last 2 weeks, but still, you win the division.
They were the number 1 seed.
Right, you were the 1 seed in all of baseball, right?
No.
They had the best record? No, Dodgers had the best.
No, Dodgers were a 3 seed.
Oh, no. Who had the... Brewers.
I'm pretty sure the Phillies also had a better record.
Yes, no, you're right. I completely forgot. I forgot the seeding. But still, number 1 seed in the AL, won the division when no one else thought you were going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, Phillies had 2 more wins.
Okay. I think he completely deserved it, and I don't agree with this voting at all.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
That's my piece.
But fuck Toronto. Then going on to the NL, we both went Craig Counsell, right?
Yes, we did both go.
I think we were just...
Wasn't a bad pick.
It wasn't, but their ace going down the first month of the season.
I completely forgot about
Justin Steele just arm exploded a month into the season. Kyle Tucker had a bunch of injuries, had an up and down
Weird
year. Pete
year.
Crow Armstrong turned from one of the best hitters in
MVP
baseball
candidate
to
to fourth outfielder.
honestly probably the front runner for MVP.
Honestly,
To
yeah.
a guy that, if he wasn't so good defensively, would not have been playing every day.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I was just reading some kind of roads level, see if there was anything else. But yeah, I think that one just comes down to the injuries, the injury bugaboo about that team. Because really, what more could he have done? Because at the deadline, wasn't there big move like Charlie? No, that was the Tigers. Wasn't it like an old pitcher and like that was it?
Who did they trade for at the deadline? I don't. Oh, they trade for Willie Castro.
Oh yeah, my goat. Sorry.
That really didn't work out. Well, again, that's not
Mike
really
Soroka. That's who it was. I knew it was someone.
Soroka, yeah.
They got Andrew Kittredge. I mean, that's not a bad one, but
yeah, he was solid. But yeah, Pat Murphy won again. This one deserved. I get it. He's great. Brewers are a fantastic team. They run super well, so I don't have any problem with this one.
Yeah, I don't really either. Then relief pitcher of the year.
Yeah, we once again agreed
on Mason Miller. We once again were wrong.
Only probably because, well, maybe not only. Chapman did really have a good year, but getting traded also messes that up.
Well, I'm pretty sure Ryan McMahon. I forget what it was, but I think it was Ryan McMahon was a finalist for the AL Gold Glove. Or the NL. I forget. Let me double check myself on that, but Gold Glove finalist. Because I forget which way he was. So is this all just NL? Yeah, Ryan McMahon was for the NL. So Tanner Scott still would have been, or not Tanner Scott, Mason Miller still would have been for the American League. But yeah, Chapman just had, like we said, 7th in Cy Young. Like he just had 8 other.
Phenomenal.
Carlos Narvaez told him to try and locate his pitch. Shut up. Then, do you have anything else on that before we go to the NL?
No.
I went Tanner Scott, and you went Justin Martinez, right?
I tried to be cute. I tried to be like, ooh, look at this guy. He's not even the closer technically. And I went with Justin Martinez at Diamondbacks. He had Tommy John.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Diaz won, so
Tanner Scott just sucked.
Yeah, and Diaz was fantastic, so that's why
he was my backup. Was he your backup too?
I think he was also my backup.
Yeah.
So
I don't even remember I know it wasn't Chapman, but I don't remember who my backup was for the American League. Then comeback player of the year. I'll give you. It was a good one.
I'm so happy about this one. Jacob deGrom won, and I picked Mr. Jacob deGrom to win. Very happy about that. Sub-3 ERA, 30 starts. I think 160 innings, something like that.
Check that right now.
He had an excellent year. He maybe not the deGrom we're all used to, but still.
Yeah, but to play devil's advocate, the deGrom we're all used to wouldn't have made 30 starts.
Yes.
172 innings.
Amazing.
Yeah,
but
so
very happy with that.
Yeah, finished 8th in Cy Young. I chose Mike Trout, and that was looking like a good pick for a while until it wasn't.
Until Mike Trout.
Such a sad story, man. It's
such a shame.
I still remember when we did this. I said Mike Trout, and you're like, "Oh my god, I forgot about him."
Forgot about him.
And
how many games did he play?
Probably like over under 100. I'm probably taking the under.
Mike Trout played in 130 games.
That's crazy.
With a 120 WRC plus and a 1.8 F/WAR.
Yeah. I think a lot of that is how much did he? Are you on Fangraphs?
I am on Fangraphs.
What was the positional breakdown?
106 at DH, 22 in right field.
That's what I figured. Just looking at 797 OPS. Just all right, 360 on base. He's still getting on base, and we're What are the power numbers like? 26 home runs, 14,
Yeah.
14 doubles, triple,
He slugged 440.
2 stolen base attempts. That's
stolen base attempts.
He stole 2 base, didn't get thrown out once.
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah.
So he tried stealing twice, was successful both times.
Yeah.
Just look at it now, man. You go all the way back to 2020. 2 stolen base attempts, 2, 1, 2, 7, 2.
Yeah, I mean, all the underlying stuff looks good. The bat to ball stuff looks good. He's still hitting the ball hard. The bat speed is still above average. Yeah, it's a shame.
It's the athleticism that's just gone.
Yeah, basically. I'm gonna get sad.
Yeah, enough. It sucks.
Let's move on.
But that, and then for comeback player of the year, I went with Sandy Alcantara. He did not win. He was very weird because
he was bad and then good.
Because he came back and he was still throwing hard, but he just could not pitch for the life of him.
Yeah.
And then he started pitching pretty solid down the stretch. He's going to be a very interesting trade name just across all of baseball because of that and just because of the history. Yeah. Who'd you pick again?
I went with Spencer Strider, which was also a bad pick.
Yeah. Who ended up winning again? I forgot.
Acuna,
yes. I feel like that was such a no-brainer.
I also just didn't. I don't know who else would have qualified for comeback player of the year.
That's another award that needs to be more clearly defined, or even you can make an argument split into 2 awards of most improved and comeback player of the year.
Yeah, because it's usually wow, you were really bad last year, but this year you're really good.
Yeah, because obviously different sports, but how DeMar Hamlin literally died on the football field, but Joe Flacco won because he had 3 good games at the end of the year.
Right. I think that's the exact argument you made when we were talking about this in the first place.
Yeah.
And, I saw a lot of Blue Jays fans complaining that, George Springer should have won in the AL over Jacob deGrom. But again, George Springer played 145 games last year.
Yeah.
He was just bad last year. There's nothing else to it. Jacob deGrom had Tommy John, came back.
And multiple injuries.
Right.
The thing with deGrom is this isn't like it's a 1-year bounce back. This has been the last 5 years? Where it's just been injuries that have just been nagging,
since 2021. This is his first
4 or 5 years where he's just been having these crazy injuries that are coming up. Where it'll be just Tommy John. Was it shoulder for him? That was also another big thing.
Scapula. That was the 2022 injury.
But it's just so much stuff over and over. So it's Springer had a great bounce back season. I don't really think there's a debate.
Bounce back.
Yeah, I don't really think there's a debate. As someone that didn't pick deGrom, there's not a debate for this.
Yeah, I truly don't think anyone else
now, if it was split into 2 awards, I think that deGrom would win comeback player of the year, Springer would win most improved.
Absolutely.
But it's not.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So
that was recap on that. I'm pretty sure you killed me.
I think so. deGrom helps.
Because the only points I got were that we didn't that didn't cancel out was 211.
Let's see.
Because you had deGrom, you had what's his face?
Tatis. Wheeler got me 1. Dominguez got me 1. Hinch got me 6. Council got us 24, but that cancels out. And then I got the deGrom pick.
And what's deGrom? 150.
They didn't release it.
They didn't release voting, so I think we agreed on it just being 150.
Yeah,
just for the winner.
So that brings me to 236.
Yeah, you beat me by 25.
Right. So I think it was a rough year overall, besides the Judge pick. But
I nailed Skeens, but other than that, it was.
Yeah, no, Skeens definitely.
I nailed 2, and then got 25 points from everyone else.
Yeah. I do think Rookie of the Year is probably one of the hardest to pick because you just don't know who's going to come up mid-season and
who's going to want to manipulate another year of service time, who's not going to want, who has service time, who still qualifies as a rookie.
Right.
it really just
I would
blew.
say it's
Crazy.
Rookie of the Year and Comeback Player of the Year are some of the toughest ones to predict.
Yeah.
Because again, you just don't know what qualifies for Comeback Player of the Year.
Yeah. And not even that, it's also you're literally picking guys that were not good last year.
Right. So
You know what I mean? You're
gotta
literally
find
trying to pick
something.
the best person out of people that did not play well.
Yeah.
So that's like another hard part about it too. So
Caveat.
yeah, the MVP in Cy Young, I feel like it's relatively easy to get on the board. Even if it's only
Yeah.
like 5 to 10 points, it's decently
Yeah.
easy unless guys get hurt.
Yep. I would agree.
I'm looking at you, Cole Rangans and Kyle Tucker. But yeah, rookie manager of the year, I feel like, oh, I like this young team. I like this young team. Let's not pick the managers from these teams that have been elite and have a crazy high payroll for the last couple of years.
Old.
Yeah.
And decrepit.
Yeah. That could be part of the reason why Schneider didn't win manager of the year because of the Blue Jays payroll. I don't agree with that
That would be
argument.
stupid, but yeah.
I don't agree with it, but I
can
think
see
that could probably be part of the thought process.
Because of the scrappy Cleveland team who
Yeah.
only won the division because the Tigers shit down their legs for a month.
Had the biggest blown division thing in maybe all time.
Sure.
But yeah.
Full of crap.
What's it?
I said it was full of crap.
Yeah, it was full of crap. But that's all we had for that, unless you had anything else.
That's all I had. So, that being said, let's head on over to Queens. We got some rumors and notes to talk about.
Now entering Queens.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Queens with your fresh roundup of rumors and notes and all the talk from Mets land from over the past week and a half. I'm going to start with the big one, which is the DFA of Frankie Montas, so that Nick Morabito will have a spot on the 40-man roster, protecting him from the Rule 5 draft. Frankie Montas was owed another $17 million this year, but as we know, he got Tommy John. He will not pitch this year. So I think this is I don't want to say surprising, because he obviously wasn't going to pitch, but I think it is a little bit of a shock that they ended up just DFAing him anyways, because I'm not sure how the insurance and things like that work. It's like, are they just eating the $17 million? Did they even have insurance on the contract? My gut tells me they didn't, just because they're kind of eating the 17 mil. If they did have insurance, I assume he would have to be on the roster in order to kind of cash that check. But far and away, David Stern's worst move from last offseason.
I'm also sorry, just to add something too. I'm also curious about him now too. Like, is his rehab covered? Is he gonna you know what I mean? For him himself, the guy is.
Yeah.
That's gonna be another weird. Does a team sign him to one of those 2-year? It's like a $500,000 deal, league minimum this year, and then $10 million next year,
right?
And one of those things. I don't know, but
yeah. So he will be a free agent once he passes waivers, but. The big story is Nick Morabito being added to the 40-man roster to be protected from the Rule 5 draft. He had a 119 WRC plus in AA this year, 49 stolen bases, a 914 OPS in the Arizona Fall League. So far, this guy kind of projects to be an nearly everyday outfielder, a real guy, a real center fielder who has the speed, has the athleticism to kind of cover all that ground. In my mind, once Tyrone Taylor is a free agent after this year, Nick Morabito has a kind of clear line of sight for a role in the 2027 team, or maybe even down the stretch this year as well. But yeah, I think he was ranked in the kind of mid-tier 10 to 15 range, depending what you look at for the Mets prospects. So I'm glad they protected him. After that, that was really all of today's news. Diaz of course, as everyone knew, was going to decline the qualifying offer. The rumors from the GM meetings are that Diaz is looking for basically the same contract he got last time, which is 5 years, $102 million. Yeah, if it gets to 5 years, I'd be a little skeptical. But if it gets to 5 years, I assume it would be a lower AAV. Maybe something like, 5 for, call it 90, 95, around that range. But I think you have to pay Diaz almost at this point. Again, there's really not a lot of other options. We talked about it in the offseason preview. If you haven't watched that, go check it out. We kind of went more in depth there. But so far, it seems like the Blue Jays are connected. The Dodgers are connected. Anyone who kind of needs a closer is connected to Diaz as of right now.
So
but
everyone, except the Padres.
Exactly. Except the Padres. There is real interest in a Jeff McNeil trade. He also underwent a minor procedure for thoracic outlet syndrome, which is a little concerning, but if it's listed as minor, I guess it's not that big of a deal. I still personally do not think moving him is a good idea. I still think you can do a lot worse than Jeff McNeil. I'm not sure what the replacement would be for Jeff McNeil. I just think that he's more valuable on the team than off the team.
Because are you really ready to give Acuna or Mauricio everyday reps?
Right. Or do you think Beatty can play a fine enough second base to be an everyday second baseman? He graded as slightly below average in the few games he did play as second base, but again, are you going to trust him to play every single day? I'm not too sure. I probably wouldn't be.
And I think you also gotta stop fucking with Beatty. Like, I feel like he proved enough with the bat where, like, you just gotta go into the season saying, like, look, you proved it. We're gonna stop fucking with you. Do your thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're gonna be a third baseman.
Stop putting so much extra on his plate when he's still a young guy. But
yeah. But Scott Boras mentions, or in his own silly, weird way, that Pete is supposedly open to DHing more, which bodes well not only for Pete's free agency, but in order to keep Pete on the Mets. I think that helps a ton.
When was the last time you heard of a guy being willing to DH helping his free agent case?
Not many.
Like, this is a very rare exception because obviously it does, but when have you ever heard of that before?
Yeah.
Only Scott Boras can spin that and make it a positive.
Yeah. I mean, it could also kind of down his market as well, because maybe you don't want to pay him $25 a year to DH 50-60% of the time.
It could also be a thing of Scott Boras realizes how bad of a defender he is and being like, okay, maybe we should kind of push the more DH narrative.
Yeah, I think we have to for your sake.
Yeah, so people can look at something else other than the bad defense.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, at the same time, how much of a drop-off war-wise, positional-wise, is there between a bad defensive first baseman and a DH?
Not a ton.
You know what I
especially
mean?
when you're as bad as Alonso's been.
I feel like it's either negligible or near negligible that the money may change a little bit, but
right. Yeah, it might be, 5 for 120 instead of 5 for 125.
Yeah.
But the biggest news out of the GM meetings is probably David Stearns flat out saying Carson Bench will enter spring training with a chance to make the opening day roster. Carson Bench is arguably probably the second highest prospect the Mets have outside of Nolan McLean, who still is technically a prospect. Bench this year between high A, he made it all the way to Triple A, had a 150 WRC plus. He profiles probably better as a corner outfielder, but he can play center field. The arm is probably his best attribute, but the athleticism and the reads are there. With Stearns saying that, I kind of have a hard time seeing them do something like a Luis Robert trade, which I kind of floated around. When it comes to Benj, he's obviously your future, and if he can help next year, that's a huge boost. But you also need to kind of sift through the words when you're this early in the offseason, because this could easily be like a leverage thing. And so that, any agent of an outfielder doesn't have to be like, well, you need a center fielder or like something like
No,
that.
we
You know what I
don't.
mean? Right.
No.
We have Carson Bench.
That's literally Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is our starting shortstop. Caleb Durbin is our starting second baseman. It's
Right.
Don't look too deep into it.
Yeah, but I do think there is some weight to the fact that they're not gonna, unless they acquire somebody who's going to play center field. I do think Benj does have an outside shot of making the opening day roster out of spring training.
Yeah.
Is it likely? I probably wouldn't say so, but I think he wouldn't say this as a complete lie in my
There
mind.
being a chance is him. It does not matter how small the chance is. There just being a possibility of it being allows him to be able to spin it.
Yeah.
And like be like, I wasn't lying. There was a chance.
Right.
It may have been less than one, but there was a chance.
Exactly. And then some other housekeeping things. Dylan Ross could be a bullpen option. Similar to Carson Bench, he'll have a chance to make the team outside of spring training. Stearns, once again, harped on run prevention, defense, things like that. And then one of the more smaller, interesting things is he flat out called Mark Vientos a bat first player, which I feel like you don't see a lot of guys do. He kind of didn't really, no sugarcoating it, no trying to be nice. Like, Mark Vientos is a bat first player. He said that Vientos' playing time has and always will be driven by his bat, which, again, is just interesting because you don't hear a lot of executives flat out. Because it's not really talking bad about Vientos, but it also is.
You're not helping his value.
Right. Which kind of tells me, A, they would love to trade him away. And B, it's you kind of know what you're going to get with Mark Vientos. You're going to get bad defense with hopefully an above average bat and power.
No.
So that's all from the GM meetings. Moving on to a Jeff Passan article that came out this morning talking about some rumors and trades there. He listed Mark Vientos, Acuna, Brett Beatty, McNeil, and Brandon Nimmo can all, quote unquote, be had in trade. Vientos, Acuna, makes sense. I get it. Beatty, I'm sure it's kind of one of those.
Tariq Skubal.
Hey, yeah, if you need him to push over a Skubal trade, then sure, go ahead. Again, McNeil, I'm not sure how you can improve, especially internally. The second base market is also not great unless you sign Bo Bichette to play second base, which is probably not a great idea for a long-term deal. And then the big one is Brandon Nimmo. Brandon Nimmo has 5 years, a little over $100 million left on his contract. He does have a full no trade clause, so more likely than not, he will be a Met next year. What are your thoughts about a potential Brandon Nimmo trade? Do you think, should they do it? Do you think it can get done? Like,
I think it's
what if the opportunity presents itself, would you trade Brandon Nimmo?
obviously it depends on the value, but I just find it
Sure.
hard to think that the value would end up working in the Mets' favor, given his contract. You know what I mean? Where it's kind of the thing of like, yeah, like you may have to trade him. You're probably not going to get much back, and you're probably going to have to eat a lot of that contract.
Yeah.
And if you want them to eat a lot of that contract, you're going to have to attach pieces. And I don't really think the Mets can kind of afford to attach as many pieces they would need for another team to eat the contract and then still try and address all their other needs.
Yeah. Like, look, Brandon Nimmo, as of right now, is about a 3-win player who is a above average bat, no longer, probably no longer all-star level. He is average at best playing left field, but in the same breath, he was a top 10 left fielder by WAR. He's a top 10 left fielder by WRC plus. And if you get rid of Nimmo, who are you replacing him with? I doubt you're signing Kyle Tucker.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that would make sense.
And
I'm not sure how you trade Nimmo and improve.
He's making what, about 22 a year?
20.
20, yeah, 20 flat. They like to say now that given like inflation, given the luxury tax going up, all of that a WAR is kind of worth about 9 to 10 million now. So he's technically more valuable than his contract if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
But
if not, he is exactly valuable.
Yeah. And the issue with it though is you thought he was going to be a lot better. And if he's already regressing this quickly, what is that going to look like in 2 more years? Because he has, 6 more years?
5.
5 more. So what is that going to look like in, going to the 3rd year of where we are now?
Right. And I think that's the bigger argument. It's not a improve now. It's probably
get out of it now while you still can.
Exactly. And addition by subtraction type of thing. The only way I can see this working out, or the only way I can see this kind of being worthwhile, is if you somehow trade Brandon Nimmo, whatever that looks like, and then you trade for like a Jarren Duran.
Yeah.
Who will be better defensively, but maybe a little worse offensively.
Will be inconsistent with the bat.
Yeah. The only other thing I could see as well is you trade Brandon Nimmo and maybe you swing a trade for Taylor Ward from the Angels. But at that rate, if you're not looking at salary, which I think a team like the Mets shouldn't be worrying about salary, they're basically the same player. And Taylor Ward's just right-handed. And he will be a free agent, I believe, after next year.
Now, do you think the Mets, say that they do something like that? They trade away Brandon Nimmo, they dump, let's call it 80% of his contract, and then get Duran or Ward. Do you think that could be because they're worried about a salary cap with a CBA? Or do you think it's... You know what I mean? Because I can't see them doing it and it making sense unless they know something about the next CBA and they're very nervous about it and they're just trying to shed money.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then I think that's a
different argument,
a much bigger discussion.
Yeah.
My gut says no. Like you shouldn't be kind of looking at that.
You shouldn't be worrying about something that
is out of your control, really.
And not even like that. Like if you had to put a number on odds-wise that salary cap happens, what would you say?
15%.
My thing is, I don't know.
That's fair.
So if I don't know, how am I going to plan to predict that? You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. Which I think just causes more headaches than solutions.
Exactly. But even then, like, say that you trade Nimmo, dump a lot of that contract, you're going to have to attach prospects. Then how many are you going to have to then trade for a Duran? And then you're at a spot of negative value. You think about it, and then you still have to do other moves.
Right.
So I feel like it's almost one of those things of if you want to make other moves, you just stick with Nimmo. That's kind of the way that I've seen it. Hope he bounces back. Then if you want to trade him next season when he has more value, talk about it then. But
right. But again, at the end of the day, he has a full no trade clause. So it's going to be really tough to sell Nimmo on, hey, we want to trade you to the Royals.
Yeah.
Right?
Even then, I have my own opinions on no trade clauses. And
right. Yeah, they're kind of fake in a way. But
like outside of Eric Hosmer, when was the last time you heard about a no trade clause like really coming into play?
Maybe Buxton this past trade deadline.
Yeah, but that's literally like 2 times. Like if a team says like we don't want you here, we want to trade you, we think that this will be a better spot for you. Then who knows? But
all right. Yeah.
I feel like most of the time guys will have no trade clause. People will be like, oh, but they have a no trade clause. It's like, yeah, but they could also waive it. Like just because they have one doesn't mean that they're not moving.
Yeah.
So
But moving on from Nimmo to another trade candidate who is apparently more available than the other 5 that I just previously mentioned. Kodai Senga, according to Jeff Passan, is quote unquote extremely available. Justin, what are your thoughts on that?
now, because there's a very big difference in he's extremely available, as in we are shopping him or we are actively listening to calls. There's a very big difference, because if they are shopping him, I am very concerned about if they don't move him and what that looks like. But if it's a thing of we don't know, we're not positive one way or the other, we're listening to what's out there, that is two completely different things. So it really
In
just
my
depends on
mind,
what his definition of, you said actively available? Extremely.
extremely available.
Yeah, it just depends on what his definition of extremely available is. But
Yeah. In my mind, the group of Vientos, Acuna, Beatty that can all be had, quote unquote, is kind of like in the right package type of thing. Extremely available to me tells me is like, yeah, we'll trade him. Like he will and can be traded.
yeah.
Not like a hey, it has to match what we're looking for type of thing.
Yeah.
But I think that it would be a bad idea. Unless there is off the field kind of relationship strain between Kodai Senga and the Mets, which seems like there might be a little bit. I don't see how this can be a good idea. And I'll tell you why. A, you're selling him at his lowest value. It's going to be tough to get any lower than what he's at right now. B, if you trade Kodai Senga, who is only making about $15 million a year, if you trade Kodai Senga and then you trade for another starter, say Tariq Skubal, Joe Ryan, something like that, you will have no starting pitching depth. As of right now, you have Noah McLean, David Pearson, Clay Holmes, Sean Manaea, Kodai Senga. After those 5, you're already going into the Jonah Tong, Brandon Sproat bubble. That will also mean Justin Hageman, Brandon Waddell will get starts. That's not something you want to do. I don't see how trading away Kodai Senga helps this team outside of, hey, he wants out, we want to get rid of him type of thing.
Yeah.
The depth of this starting rotation is not what it once was. And again, God forbid someone else gets hurt, you're already diving into your kind of young pitching prospects that maybe aren't ready yet.
And also, at the end of the day, it's only $15 million.
Right.
And
if he's your 5th starter, I think that's fine.
And it's also a thing of you can get away with it with the way the rotation is now, where you have so many damn young guys that let's just take McLean or I forget, it's McLean, right? McLean, yes. I hate it. But McLean and Senga, they're combined making $15.5 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it may not be the best way to look at it, but you could look at, we're paying each guy, call it $8 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the production that they're both, again, not the best way to look at it, but at the same time, he still has 2 more years left. There's still that pitcher in there, and I feel like pitchers, we see this a lot, where sometimes, whether it be injury, the game, or like hitters just adjusting to like the pitch, all that, who knows? I feel like there's so much of, Mets have big contracts of players that didn't play well, let's try and get rid of them, without realizing they got those contracts for a reason. And we see it all the time with guys bouncing back from one bad year in those long contracts. So it literally just seems like, Mets have big name on big contract that had bad year, trade. When, like, no, they built this team this way for a reason. And you can't do the hokey pokey with the 1 foot in and your 1 foot out. But
yeah, and the other thing is I do see a lot of the arguments of he has to pitch on 6 days rest and it's annoying and you have to, you have to baby him, yada yada. Guess how many starts Yoshinobu Yamamoto made on regular rest?
None.
0. He starts every 5 days for a reason. I think that's a ridiculous argument, but regardless, I'll end it off like this. I don't see a world where you can improve this team while trading Brandon Nimmo and or Kodai Senga. My interest or my curiosity is definitely there to see how they would want to do that. But feasibly, as I look at it right now, I have a tough time seeing how you can do that. But
It's just moves to make moves. That's what it sounds like.
It just seems like it's one of those things where, like, we had a bad year. We need to kind of change things up. You need to shake it up for the sake of it. Which I get to an extent, but I'm not sure how that'll work. That's all I had. Justin, if you had anything else.
No, it literally just sounds like moves for the sake of moves. Of people trying to play MLB The Show franchise mode. That's literally what it sounds like. There's so much more when it comes to dealing with the contracts than just meets the eye. So.
Yeah, definitely. So, that being said, take us away.
And we will go right into the Bronx.
Now entering the Bronx.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back into the Bronx, where, as we mentioned earlier, there was breaking news of Trent Grisham accepting the qualifying offer, which was pretty shocking. But before we get into that, Aaron Judge won MVP. We talked about it. Fuck you, Mariner fans. Cal Raleigh was deserving. Aaron Judge was more deserving. Max Fried finished 4th in Cy Young. There were Silver Sluggers, Hank Aaron Awards, yada. Ryan Yarbrough, they brought him back on a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. He pitched 64 innings last year, and that's with missing multiple months with an oblique strain. He was that Swiss Army knife. I mentioned that they should sign Nestor Cortez. They signed a Nestor Cortez to me. I mean, a guy that can either toss in the rotation, toss in the bullpen, whatever you need him to do. That Swiss Army crafty lefty that's cheap is going to eat innings. I mean, is there a more Nestor Cortez-like pitcher that they could have signed than Ryan Yarbrough?
Probably not.
And you also $2.5 million. Like,
yeah.
I love it. He's gonna eat innings. You need a starter right away because you obviously have Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon that aren't gonna pitch for call it the first month minimum of the year.
Yeah.
Then it sucks to say, and it's so unfortunate. Spring training, guys are gonna go down. You don't know who. But you have to be ready for that. You have to be ready for that. So I love the deal. Not much more to talk about it. But we mentioned how Imaya is being, I butchered it, but I don't care. It's being posted tomorrow. Murakami was already posted. Akamoto, we are waiting on being posted. The reason why I mentioned that is because Brian Cashman said that it has been too many years since the Yankees have featured a star from Japan. I agree. Definitely. I'm also, I don't know which way this is kind of going to go. Because does that mean he's going to go all in on a Amaya? Or how do you... Amai. Is he going to go all in on Amai and just get a absurd rotation? Is he going to go all in on Murakami? Is he going to pick up Akamoto to put as a first, third utility man? And even something that mentioned, Jeff Passan didn't really have the Yankees as a team looking for a first baseman. He kind of like listed a bunch of teams looking for one, didn't have him, so it kind of seems like they want to have Rice full-time there. And I would assume if they're going to have Rice full-time there, Austin Wells is going to be the full-time catcher. But I feel like, could this also be a trade, maybe? I had Iminaga was another guy I was thinking about. Obviously, he just signed the qualifying offer, so he's off the board. Maybe the Cubs, for whatever reason, want to move off Suzuki. Maybe the Red Sox want to move off Yoshida, who the Yankees had interest in. Maybe they go after Ha-Seong Kim in free agency. So I don't think it necessarily is just stuck to the 3 guys that are being posted. I think there's a lot more guys that can be had for the right price.
Kodai Senga.
But that's what
Yeah.
that's the point that I'm making. That he said that, and I think a lot of people are just immediately going to, these are the free agents. No, I think there's also guys that could be traded for.
Mm-hmm.
Because Imanaga took the qualifying offer. Maybe the Cubs regret that a little bit. Or, like, kind of wish he didn't. And they're like, okay, like, yeah, we could get more value by trading him. There's just something along those lines. Who knows what will happen? We'll see. With that, and then you also mentioned the Jeff Passan article, because I'm going to wait for Trent Grisham, because I want to get everything done before Trent Grisham.
Yeah.
But he mentioned Kyle Tucker and how the Blue Jays were kind of being considered the favorites for them. Please, God, no. I would sign Kyle Tucker for if the only reason I signed Kyle Tucker was so the Blue Jays couldn't have him, it's worth it. We mentioned earlier how the Dodgers doesn't seem like they're really going to be that in on him. Yankees weren't really connected to any of the high-end pitchers except Imai, which makes sense. That was that. But then moving on to Trent Grisham. So, he accepted the qualifying offer. What it pretty much means, for those that don't know, even though he said qualifying offer multiple times, he essentially took a 1-year deal worth a tick over $22 million with the Yankees. If he declined the qualifying offer and then signed elsewhere, the Yankees would have got draft pick compensation. I think it would have been like the 4th and 6th. It gets confusing with luxury tax stuff. So we don't have to worry about that because he is with the Yankees. What are your initial thoughts?
Yikes.
Yeah.
I think that... man, I think this kind of fucks up a lot. I don't think you can have Trent Grisham as your everyday center fielder. You mentioned, I think off camera, but the Yankees see Trent Grisham as an elite center fielder by their in-house metrics, but by quite literally everything else you look at publicly and even watching him, that's not the case.
Well, that's also what Boone said.
Right.
So Boone said it, so maybe it's just him
guy.
Defending a guy. They don't actually see it that, because he also said Volpe's, he's fucking elite smacking table. So is that a thing of that's how they actually feel, or that's Boone just defending the guy? Who knows? I think it was kind of one of those things of, we'll give it to you. We hope you don't accept it. But if you do, okay, we have Trent Grisham for a year.
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those things like, fine, we have him, but we really hoped you didn't accept it. And again, I think it's fine. Like, Trent Grisham is a fine player. I just think if you wanted to go after Kyle Tucker,
Grisham didn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't see this working out. Like, I think Bellinger can still fit onto this roster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Kyle Tucker fits on this roster anymore.
I think there's a way for it to happen, but I think it becomes so much more complicated.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of the best, or where like you're literally trading both Dominguez and Jones.
Right. You know what? That's the other thing.
That's the only way to.
Now, what do you do with Jason Dominguez? Because if you want Bellinger or Tucker, you're gonna have Dominguez as a 4th outfielder.
Well, no. If they sign another outfielder, I would be shocked if Dominguez or Spencer Jones were in the Yankees organization.
Yeah.
I'd be stunned. Yeah. And just a little bit because this literally just happened like 30 minutes ago. So we really didn't have time to. What you said?
I said things are still coming out.
Yeah, so a little bit from Brendan Cuddy. He wrote an article in The Athletic. Brought up a point that I didn't really think about, but there was a point in the season where the Yankees were debating selling, like a little bit before the trade deadline. And so they kind of called around about Grisham. So they kind of knew what the league was thinking or had like an idea on it. So that could be part of the reason why they offered it, thinking maybe the league's a little bit higher on it. You also had to think of, he's probably going to want to take a multi-year deal because of the work stoppage or potential work stoppage next year with the CBA. So this is just weird overall because a lot of people had Grisham kind of getting like a 3-year, $50+ million deal. That was kind of a lot of the number. The number I had in my head was 345 because the qualifying offer was attached to him. It is. I don't get it from his point of view, unless he just did not like his market and he's like, you know what, I love playing in New York. I'm just gonna do the 1 year. Give me the big payday, all that. But it's a big gamble for him too, because that was by far his career. And I did not know that Joe Odell hit 37 home runs.
Yeah.
That's
about all he did.
He had the third most home runs for a center fielder in baseball, with Byron Buxton being second. So I thought he could have got a lot more than $22 million on the open market. A little bit shocking, but
I mean, he is 29. This will be his age 29 season, so he will re-enter free agency as a 30-year-old, which isn't terrible.
But next year is not the year you want to do that.
Yeah, that plus the fact of this is really like, I don't know, like if you have a bad year, then that's kind of it. Like you're gonna have to sign another 1-year, 2-year deal as a backup outfielder. So, look, I hope it works out for Grisham the person, but he's betting on himself, which I can't blame a man for doing.
Which you could also say, like, look at how he did last year when he had the pressure on him in the sense of like contract year, all that. Maybe something else happens again. So I don't know how to feel. Like you kind of mentioned, I don't know if he really can be the everyday center fielder. Yeah. I'm not sure I trust Jason Dominguez to be the everyday center fielder. I think Spencer Jones would be a pretty solid defensive everyday center fielder. He'd probably be a tick above league average just because of how fast he is and how big he is. So, and he has like a cannon of an arm. So I think he would be an above average defensive center fielder. I just don't know how the hell to feel about the bat.
Yeah.
There may be a world, and I'm not sure if this is the world we're living in, where the Yankees said, we really believe in Jason Dominguez and Spencer Jones, so we're going to give the qualifying offer to Grisham. If he accepts it, our outfield's set. If not, we'll worry about that then.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if that's the world we're living in.
That'd be a tough sell.
That would be. I would definitely agree. Because I have serious concerns about Spencer Jones. And I've said multiple times, I do not know how to feel, and the organization, I think, has to make their decision on Spencer Jones now.
Yeah.
Like, they have to say, we either believe he's going to be the future, or we're not sure. Get out of here, maximize on the value.
Yeah.
But, because you would think that, are you putting Jason Dominguez back in center? You're putting Grisham in left? Even then, Yankee Stadium left field's a tough left field to play. I don't know.
Again, I think just him accepting just complicates a lot of the offseason.
Yeah.
I think it gives you that much less room to work with. You know, $22 million is a decent chunk, a change for Grisham. You know, it inflates the payroll.
That's my thing. That's a lot of money to add to the payroll. To then say you're going to go then sign another outfielder.
Right. What, you think Bellinger is probably going to get 25, and then Tucker's probably in like the 35-40 range?
Yeah.
So, again, that's tough. And you still probably need another starter, I would argue, even with Yarbrough.
Yeah.
It's again, I just think this complicates a lot for the Yankees.
They got one thing that Brian Cashman did say is that they believe the outfield market's very thin, which
it is
fair. You have two top end guys, then would you say Grisham was the third best outfielder?
Probably.
So get the third best outfielder in the class for $22 million. See it? That's more a thing of bad class.
I was gonna say, I think that says a lot more about the state of free agents.
Yeah, so that could be part of it. They just wanted to lock down that position and not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something? You look like you were...
I'm looking... If we looked at 2025 WAR, Grisham was tied with Harrison Bader among all free agent outfielders. If we're looking at projections, Grisham is third by a healthy margin.
I also think Grisham would edge out Bader. Just being a lefty, the home runs, all that anyways.
Yeah. Yep.
So...
Yeah, after that... Cedric Mullins, Mike Yastrzemski.
It falls off bad. So I could see it being a thing of we're not, because as you mentioned, John Heyman said that does not take them out of Kyle Tucker. So it could just be a thing of we've been burned in the past by not having a backup plan. We need to have a backup plan.
Which, if that's the case, Grisham is not a terrible backup plan.
He's not a bad fallback. He is not a bad fallback. And I said the Yankees need to get Kyle Tucker, But if they roll out an outfield, Trent Grisham, Jason Dominguez, or Spencer Jones, trade the other one, and you get a Tariq Skubal, you get a top-end starter, a top-end infielder, something like that, I could be bought back in. You know what I mean? So we'll...
Right. In the same breath, this was one of the better offenses in baseball, so maybe running things back for the most part isn't such a terrible idea offensively. But still, I think it's a tough sell given how they produced in the postseason as well.
And I don't know. It's really going to be one of those things of we're not going to know how this turns out until then, because you're adding $22 million to the payroll. And I think that's bigger than anything else, is the money added to the payroll. We'll see. Did you have anything else on Grisham? Because there was one other rumor I forgot to mention. But
that was really it.
That's it on Trent Grisham. I completely forgot about this rumor because I didn't write it down because I think it's a nothing burger, but I did want to mention it. I forget the exact quote, but there were sources of Paul Skeen's teammates saying that he has said he would love to play for the Yankees.
Yeah. I think that was also someone else said that was crap. I forgot.
I'm not buying to... Even if he said that, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to give up so damn much for Paul Skeens that the juice may just not be worth the squeeze. What do you say? Dominguez, Jones, Schlittler. Trying to think it. Let me look at the Yankees' top prospects.
Cruz.
What'd you say?
What's that young guy, the young pitcher? Something
Elmer?
Cruz. I know
Elmer
Cruz.
Oh, Lombard. I forgot about Lombard. That's what I was thinking about.
Lombard, yeah.
So you're thinking Lombard.
Volpe,
maybe. Probably. Let's call it Lombard, Dominguez / Jones, one of them. Yeah. Volpe. 2 of LaGrange, Rodriguez, and Schlittler. If not all 3 of them.
Yep.
And that's probably more. That's what you're going to have to give up.
Yeah.
So, and...
It's a lot.
I may do that, but exactly. I probably would do that, but it would take a lot, and I don't really think... I think the Pirates would also be dumb to move him, because you have a superstar, insane pitcher that just won the Cy Young.
Yeah.
You can't move him. You can't move him, dude.
They won't.
But I did want to mention it because it was kind of floating around the rumor mill. And if the Yankees can assemble a package, fuck it. Do it. Because he is that damn good. But I'm just letting everyone know now that if the Yankees do make a trade for Paul Skeens, you are trading every single person in this farm system.
Yeah, basically.
Before people because everyone's like, oh, the Yankees are prospect huggers, they need to move on from these guys. If they do it, they're trading away everyone. Which again, I don't think would be the worst idea. But that is all I really have. When do winter meetings start again? Early December?
First weekend in December, I think.
So we'll see. You typically see a lot more movement then.
Yeah.
Just for
leading up
different reasons.
During. Last year when Soto signed.
I think there was a couple other moves that happened around then too. Because even then, that's the first time that guys are really having long-term discussions. Yeah, so even if signings don't happen then, there's still a foundation for stuff for after the fact.
Yeah. Just off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure Willie Adames signed around that time too.
Yeah, Snell.
Chris Walker, Cody Bellinger, I think got traded around that time. Snell. So, again.
I think Walker was after.
It might have been a little bit
I think he was
after.
a couple weeks after.
Okay, but...
I think Walker was after Bellinger?
Maybe?
I want to say so, because I think I was home for winter break.
Oh, Fried. Fried was the big one, too.
Yes, Fried,
that was
yes.
as well. But, yeah.
Did Crochet happen in the winter meetings? I think it was
so as
just
well.
thereafter.
Yeah, around that again.
But anyways, the big stuff happens during and after the winter meetings. That's like
Yes.
right now, like I'm not really that into rumors right now.
Mhm.
Like I'm kind of just looking at like I'm just watching football, I'm playing fantasy, all that. Like I'm not really getting too deep into rumors for them until give it 2 weeks. Then
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
gotta read
start
the tea
going.
leaves.
What'd you say?
You gotta read the tea leaves around this time,
Yeah.
not necessarily take everything for face value.
Yeah, I'm like looking at what Passon's saying. I'm looking at
Right.
maybe a couple like if Brian Hoke puts an article out there, I'll read something like that. But I'm not being like, oh my god, this guy's connected to the Yankees. They're gonna we're not even close to that point yet. Like, there's been what 2 moves, literally like we said 2 moves.
Yeah.
Naylor
Yeah,
and
Naylor and
Yarbrough.
Yarbrough are the 2 big free agent signings right now.
When Ryan Yarbrough is considered a big free agent signing, you know that the
you're in.
stove is frozen.
Yeah.
But
So.
that's all I had. We'll probably get an episode right before winter meetings / at the beginning of winter meetings, kind of as like a preview, because that's when the off season starts to get going.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
But with that being said, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching over on YouTube, remember to subscribe, leave us a like, leave us a comment. Let us know you're enjoying the show. Let us know what you want the Nets or Yankees to do. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, leave us a rating, leave us a review. Helps us out. Lets us know you're enjoying the show. And remember to follow all of our social media accounts at Triboro Podcast, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook was the last one.
If you're not sure, look it up.
If you're not sure, look it up. It's also in the description. So thank you guys again, and we'll see you in the next episode.